Are we live?
Almost. A glorious good morning. It is day 2 of the Kinetic Sculpture in place.
That's right. I am Cliff.
I am Amy, and we are delighted to be hosting this year's grand event.
As you can see behind us, we've got Humboldt Bay virtually behind us. So it's virtual because we are not crossing Humboldt Bay today.
It's the Humboldt Not-the-bay Crossing.
That's
so
right.
That's our big challenge, but we have other challenges as well. Before we get started, I think we should say a glorious good morning to our reigning rutabaga queen, Sir Queen Robotica. And she needs to be unmuted. He needs to be unmuted. Hello.
There we go. Oh,
one more
muted.
time. There we go.
Now you are unmuted.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I hope everyone got at least 11 minutes of rest between repairs and reunions last night.
I like that you're prepared for the water crossing this very day.
That's right.
Prepared. Physical safety, emotional safety, umbrella in case of rain, sun, or evil princesses.
Okay. Well, join us, Katie.
Yeah, Queen Lot of Paint Buckets, you're welcome to join us, please. There's a lot going on today. In addition to the water crossing, the other big event is Micro Kinetics, which is, I'm really looking forward to that. We also have a bunch of challenges each day. So there is the day 2 Read for Speed Glory Road, which is a princess poem. So the idea is to read it as fast as you can on video. And this is a princess poem by Princess Tootsie Rolls, Wendy. And I will do the best I can. The news was declared. It was heard far and wide. The citizens of Humboldt should learn how to ride. So they gathered spare tires, hammers, and glue, and they set up a lab to decide what to do. They built bikes too big and they built bikes too small. They built spinning bikes that didn't go anywhere at all. They built a huge bike and had lots of tires, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You can find the information. There is also...
Wow, you're good.
the Memorial Day weekend challenge 2 TOO, wordplay, idioms, and puns, oh my.
Ooh.
Pilots having puns so children will desire to be full grown. So using items of your place in shelter to illustrate a pun, idiom, or play on words, the more kinetic, the better.
This is a very popular event in Connecticut.
Yeah. No, we don't.
Just needs the password.
She should be able to get in. And we sent her the information, right?
Yep.
Okay. That needs hashtags kinetic, team name, hashtag kinetic in place, hashtag KSIP wordplay, hashtag full grown GROAN pilots. Everybody can play, but only the teams will be considered for judging. And then we came up with a third one for today ourselves, which is just for the glory, and it's the hashtag crab park at home. If you are camping in your yard, please post some pictures.
Yes, we know Funguy is doing that. So Funguy, we expect
thrown down the challenge.
That's right. So Queen Robotica, how was a night's sleep knowing that you are now the reigning rutabaga queen?
There's no night's sleep for officials of the Kinetic Board.
We sleep on Tuesday.
Sleep on Tuesday. I was up early this morning measuring the mud and recalibrating the bay buoyancy.
Mm-hmm.
Archimedes' principles are much easier this year now that I have my own crown.
It looks marvelous, by the way.
Thank you.
You are the first ever queen to also have been knighted.
Yes, that's true. There's only 2 knights, so it's not a long history, but it's a glorious history.
And well-deserved, absolutely. I really love the science theme you are engaging this year. There she is.
Queen Texas, it looks like, is joining us. Fantastic. A lot of paint buckets.
Yes. So I think this is where we play kinetic history, and then we'll talk about the website and the noon siren and all that fun stuff. Does that work for everybody? We'll do the extra challenges yet again.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So are we doing history first, Jay, before we do the challenges that got missed?
Okay.
All right. Let's see some kinetic history. at any moment.
When you're ready. Here it is.
Street to see what his friend Hobart was working on. Hobart showed him the pentacycle, a 5-wheeled human
Jay,
powered.
you
No
didn't
audio.
engage the audio. I can hear it
I
through
can
your
do better than
speaker.
that, exclaimed Jack with bravado, and challenged Hobart to a race
Nope,
during the
no
Mother's
audio.
Day Art Festival. By the
It's not
time the
coming
race
through.
day rolled round, word
Not
had
coming
gotten
through the
out
Zoom.
that there was going to be a kinetic sculpture race.
Not
and
like it was
11
before.
entries lined up at the starting line. Neither Jack's tank nor Hobart's pentacycle made it across the finish line that day. The honor went to Bob Brown's tortoise, the first kinetic sculpture race grand champion. In 1973, Barbara
While
Ludwig,
Jay is
Hobart's
fixing
girlfriend and
whatever
kinetic pilot,
Razzuli's minions have
decided
done
that
to
the
this
race needed a queen,
video.
so she invented the
There
rutabaga
you
queen
go.
title
Excellent.
and
Fixed.
took the
Probably
job
should
herself.
Restart that again.
The street race drew a lot of attention and swiftly grew into a huge event in tiny Ferndale.
If I could talk in the call, right? Jay?
In 1974, after exploring the Humboldt Bay, the Ferndale Explorers Club challenged Hobart to a cross-country race, starting on April 13th at Fields Landing and ending in Ferndale. There were 3 races that year. The yo-yo took 26 days to finish the course, but rolled into Ferndale for the Mother's Day Kinetic Race Streets Race. During the 80s, the cross-country race exploded in popularity after being covered by the national media and attracted beer sponsor Coors. Hobart's team hosted Good Morning America host Steve Fox, which propelled Hobart's race into the public eye. In 1987, after the Galumpi brothers had won 6 races in a row, Hobart changed the point system of the race to allow for art points in addition to the speed and engineering scores. Ken Beidelman's Bionic Blue coach was the beneficiary of the new Grand Champ title. Calistoga had started sponsoring Dwayne Flatmo and moved into sponsoring the race in the 1990s. The race by 1990 had evolved into the 3-day event in which pilots must traverse the land, the sand, the water, and sometimes the mud. During the 90s, Yakima stepped up to sponsor a new lab for Ken Beidelman and his teams, enabling the Big Three to dominate kinetics. Dwayne Flatmo, Ken Beidelman, and June Moxon's teams traded Grand Championship honors back and forth, bringing fabulous whimsical creations to the race every year and elevating the expectations for art. The only challengers to the Big Three were Alan Krauss and Rob Hitchcock, who rode Top Banana, The Art of Speed, and Naruhodo the World to the Grand Championships. In 1993, the film It'll Have Blinking Eyes and a Moving Mouth was released by Jeb Berg. The documentary was a tribute to Hobart Brown and other racers who have not only sculpted magical vehicles, but also magical lives.
This is a race, so they're trying to become first. However, they're not going to forget the fact that the crowd is watching, and it is an art event, and they want to impress them.
In 2001, Hobart sold the race to the Humboldt Kinetic Association, a loose group of non-profits who kept the race running until the Rutabaga Queens took the baton and formed the Kinetic Universe non-profit that continues to run the race today. In November of 2007, Hobart Brown passed away. "So much of our lives are filled with everyday hassles," wrote Dwayne Flatmo. bills to pay, work, and other responsibilities. Hobart went forward to roll out the giant red carpet, leading us to a big stage called the Kinetic Sculpture race for all of us to act out our ideas, fantasies, and alter egos. A place we could forget all our daily problems and come together as one big family with a common thread. It is up to us to carry on, knowing that little bit of him is in each of us, and spread the joy he found and brought to us. Hats off to Hobart Brown.
On the water now, you're going to see our propeller system, which hasn't been tested yet, but we've got a real good feeling about it.
The Kinetic Sculpture race has run every year for 51 years, through stormy weather or disagreements over who should run the race or what the course would be. As Ken Beidelman said, we know how to find the plaza at noon. But this year everything is different. We are sheltering in place and sending our films to Humboldt. Wishing with all our heart that we could be struggling over June's dunes, pacing ourselves up Melvin's Mile, or blasting down Dead Man's Drop. People ask us why we would do such a thing. In the famous words of Barbara Ludwig, fully dressed, dragging herself up out of the muddy water after her craft had sunk, for the glory.
Well done.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Thank you, Team Pineapple, for putting that together.
If you had, we did run that yesterday, but in case you missed it.
It's kind of how we're starting each day. I believe we have Queen Lotta paint buckets as well. Yes? Queen Lotta paint.
Hi, good morning.
Hey, Glorious, good morning, my queen.
Hey, hey.
Hi. I missed the production meeting this morning at 10 because I had the wrong Zoom meeting. So I have a whole list of things I would love to talk to you two about.
Okay.
The next video.
Okay.
Bye.
So one of the things that happened yesterday is apparently Razuli sent his minions into our top secret tech lair where Jay is operating as master controller, and they stole a couple of the videos.
But
Jay chased them down and fought off the minions and got them back, so we can see the missing egg drops today. Thank you, Jay.
Howdy, folks. Welcome to Dead Man's Egg Drop. All Carl and a Rector set and a few other odds and ends. This is human powered, but then the human energy, I actually store it by lifting up some water in a jug. And that's tied to a string and goes around this big pulley. And here I'll just wind it up, so to speak. Down here I have a trigger mechanism for starting the launch process. Oh, come on. There we go. So that holds the water up in the air, which is the propulsion. Normally I'd put an egg in here, but I'm just doing the explanation. The glory egg gets wrapped in a couple of paper towels here, and then all of that stuffed inside a little pouch I made out of a piece of sock. This is a bungee cord. The end of the bungee cord gets tied onto it, and when the egg then gets stuffed in here, and when it goes up to the top, it comes out, and the bungee cord stretches, and then the string pays out. If you'll look up here, it goes through this blue tube, and then it's attached to that fan. So that lowers the egg down to the ground at a speed that won't crack it. So I'll just wind that back up, and that is pretty much all the engineering to my Dead Man's Egg Drop. For the glory. Alrighty, Dead Man's Egg Drop. Let the loading begin. the first glory egg wrapper. This makes me a wrap artist now, I guess. Eggs in the sack. Eggs. Oh, doggone it. Try that again. There we go. I think that goes in the hole. All right. Dead man's egg drop. Here comes the launch. Safely down to the ground. Little hung up inside the machine, but safely down to the ground. And to prove it, I'm just going to pull the egg out. Ooh. I feel like breaking this one's a waste of an egg because it came down so gentle. You can see it's perfectly okay. And here I'm gonna have some egg with my lunch, just to prove. There. For the glory.
Dead man's drop. Oh, we're struggling. Oh, pedal, 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 pedal. Oh, we're halfway up. 7 seconds, 8 seconds. Oh, keep going, keep going. I'll get it to the top. And we're in there. Good, thank you. Yeah. All right, we're starting down Dead Man's. Whoa, and down. Oh, and a flip. Oh gosh, better see if they've gone extinct. Bye.
That was funny.
Lots of fun. Okay, so we are coming up on the noon whistle, and much like yesterday.
Well, we got about 10 minutes to go.
But we want people to be ready. We want everyone to participate in the noon whistle in the way that you feel is best. Sir Queen Robotica, any suggestions on noon whistle participation?
Wind whips.
Ooh.
Wind whips.
Wind whips. I like it. I was thinking slide whistles.
Good whistles.
Shofars. Tubas.
Hands together. Things you have at your home. What's the most repurposed whistle you can create? I'd like to see that.
I had an idea yesterday of taking a piece of paper and turning it into a cone and then going through it because it gives you that reverb. Sort of. It's fun. I don't know. Once it gets started, I just know that our dogs participate in a very enthusiastic way.
This is true. This is true.
If the glorious spectators come up with an inventive whistle they made from recycled materials around their home, feel free to send it to me on Facebook. I'd love to see them.
Ooh,
excellent. Good
yes,
call.
and then you'll share them with us.
Yes.
Excellent. What a great, see, already taking a leadership
So
position as queen.
We of course have an actual recording of the Arcada Noon Whistle, which we will play.
But everybody should know that the Kinetic Sculpture Race website is up and running. The art auction is there. Yay. Very happy. So you can actually bid on things. You can the one item that I saw up is up from Raspberry Fembot. You can purchase an invisible ticket. You can go to the Glorious gift shop and get the Kinetic Sculpture in Place black t-shirt, which says Stay Glorious, Stay Home, or in Glorious, Stay Home green. There is also the bandana, which has the fabulous logo that Lush Newton did for us, and so much more. There are ways that you can help support the race and the museum, and the art auction does go to the benefit the museum, which is really wonderful. And it is on A Street between 5th and 6th in Eureka. And so when we are once again up and running and able to go out and about together, then we will all be able to go back to the museum. And
this is a private tour.
Yeah, we just found that the Goddess Jenna will have scores ready in time for the awards on Monday, tomorrow.
Woohoo!
Because she can warp space and time, which is amazing.
She's always been good at that. That's why she is the goddess.
That's right, the Goddess Jenna. So I've really enjoyed watching the submissions. And if you missed the pageantry, fear not. We are rerunning the pageantry tomorrow after the mud run. So people have a chance to see it now that you've gotten to know the teams. And once again, I want to welcome teams from around the world, really, who've participated for the first time. Welcome to our Kinetic family. It's always better with more. Always room for another creative, happy person who's out to have fun so that kids will want to grow up.
That is right. So, so today, traditionally is the water crossing. And of course, since we cannot, since we are doing Kinetic in Place, what we are going to be doing is a non-Humboldt Bay crossing.
The Humboldt Not-the-bay Water Crossing. And there are rules, which we will go over before we show you their videos. There is also Micro-Kinetics today, which is kinetics for people of all ages.
This is going to be happening after the water crossing.
And I am so looking forward to this. Very creative stuff. People can make a Micro-Kinetics between 1 centimeter and 1 meter in length. And the minimum is a little parade, which Isaac from Team Kinetic Paranormal Society is put together. And then people can recreate various parts of the race for glory and fun with their Micro-Kinetics. And I can't wait to see what people have come up with. A couple little previews that I've seen here and there are really intriguing. Queen Robotica, yes. You're muted, my dear.
There we go.
You were waving.
I was finding my entourage to help with the noon whistle.
Oh, good.
We have a whole royal family on screen to help kick off the race.
Excellent.
Perfect. 2 rutabaga queens and a royal pain. Isn't that his official title?
That is his official title. He was one of the very first Ruta babies, but as a boy of almost 8, he doesn't like being called a baby as much anymore.
Our son Michael was the Blues by the Baby for years. Now he's almost 20. You know, it goes with the territory.
This is true.
When I was pregnant with Michael, it was race time, and they made me ride in the limo with Hobart and Pierre Thunderbritches because they were worried I'd overdo it if I wasn't in the limo. There are a number of babies that have either been born as a direct result of activities during Kinetic Weekend, or whose moms were pregnant during the race and still managed to have relatively normal children.
Relatively.
Children who have been covered with glitter since birth.
Yes. Put in tutus as tiny infants, yeah.
So I'm really curious to see, because the Dead Man's Egg Drop was so creative. Oh, it's Queen Monica.
The goddess of entertainment.
Yay.
A shirt.
Oh, it's beautiful.
So congratulations on being the first 2 queen family.
It's pretty exciting, you know. I mean,
exciting.
It is exciting. There had been a queen princess household prior to us. But yeah, the first queen household was pretty great.
It's pretty exciting. Another Kinetic first.
Yeah. We're the only 3-generation pilots family.
Right.
Well, we can't wait to share that title with others.
Are we getting close to Goddess's Noon?
Yeah, we still have 4 minutes to go or so. But we're getting ready to participate in any way we want. Feel free to run around in the circle and yell pandemonium if that's what it does for you. That works for many people. Queen Monica, any suggestions on a noon whistle?
I think we probably have enough noise for our neighborhood at this point, between the hooping and hollering and all the noise that necklaces make and all the bribes. Just wave it all around.
Excellent.
Strut your glory stuff.
Absolutely.
Wave your flag, shake your pom-poms.
Where are my pom-poms?
I don't know where my tutu went. It's here somewhere.
I'm wearing my bustle, but you can't see it on the stream. The camera's too high.
If you're wearing a bustle, you can shake your bustle.
Almost.
There we go.
There you go.
Don't cover the camera.
Oh, I see a Queen Goddess flag.
Perfect.
So it's been very exciting to see all of the different participants this year and how creative everybody's been with how they've interpreted the challenges.
Yeah, I cannot wait to see the water crossing today.
The Not-the-bay Water Crossing.
The Not-the-bay Water Crossing.
Yeah.
Because the creativity thus far has been really wonderful.
The
really
creativity
impressed.
and the sense of humor. The sense of humor has been great. And I've got to give you kudos because anybody who drops Mentos into cola,
oh, God,
it's glorious indeed. Glorious indeed.
That was great.
So yesterday I was getting I got a text from the goddess Jeno to tell us when it was noon. So I'm just letting you know that I'm on goddess time. I'm waiting for word from Jeno.
And if not, we'll
jump the gun.
Yeah.
I don't know. She's never failed us yet.
Mm-hmm.
I did get a sneak peek at the Teddy Bear Award, by the way, or the Judy Bear Award. It is something very, very special this year. Rob Dog made a huge copper flower with a faceted glass gem that has Judy's picture in it.
Wow.
And yeah, it gets me. It's really beautiful and very special. So, well, I'll try not to cry now. Counting down to noon, Goddess Jeno time. Almost there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I just got a buzz here.
I'm sharing.
Oh,
Oops.
okay.
Oh, I've others. Who am I stopping? I'm stopping somebody's screen share. It might be Jay, but I'll give it back to you. But I need to be able to share the.
What do you do? No, we don't.
To share the noon whistle?
No.
Okay, cancel.
Yeah.
I'll just play it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just got a note from Jeno.
Oh, you got the Jeno.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got a text. Or not text. Okay, here we go.
All right. That's just about the awards.
Okay.
Oh, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Noon. Pandemonium.
That is right. It is just about time for us to begin the Not-the-bay Crossing.
That's right.
That is right. Listen to that. It sounds like World War II.
No, it doesn't. Stop that. It sounds like the Plaza.
That actually is a recording of the Plaza noon whistle right there.
I believe so, yeah. Here we go. One more time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we don't always have a noon whistle on day 2. Usually we just have the Rampmeister doing his safety checks.
But why not? I think that's it.
There we go.
There we go.
All right. So we are now looking at a couple of things. Let's talk about the extra challenges for the day before we do the water crossing. So the second challenge today is to read for speed the Glory Road poem from Princess Tootsie Rolls on video as fast as you can. And then you have to post it on Facebook by an hour after the live stream ends today. And
lots of hashtags.
Right. So hashtags Kinetic team name, hashtag Kinetic in place, hashtag KSIP read for speed, hashtag princess poem. everybody can play, but only teams get judged. And then there is the day 2, TOO, wordplay and idioms, puns, oh my, pilots having pun, so children's will desire to be full grown. And what you do is use items from your place of shelter to illustrate a pun, idiom, or play on words. The more kinetic, the better. And you post a photo or video on Facebook by an hour after the live stream has ended for the day. Hashtags, hashtag kinetic team name, hashtag kinetic in place, hashtag KSIP wordplay, hashtag full grown pilots, GROAN. And then we added a third one for the day, which is hashtag crab park at home. If you are camping at home, we would like you to post pictures, please.
That's right. And of course, it is just about time for the not Humboldt Bay crossing. So Amy, why don't you give the official rules?
The rules. We need to have rules so we can have fun. Okay. You have to create a contraption with which to move your kinetic egg into a cross and out of a body of water at least 1 foot across. The egg must start at least 1 foot away from the water. During the bay crossing, the kinetic egg itself must get wet. The egg can cross the bay in or out of a container. Sub-roll, if the egg crosses the bay inside a container, the challenge ends when the container leaves the water. The kinetic egg must end the challenge outside the water. Once the kinetic egg is at least 6 inches from the bay, all humans must be at least 6 feet away until it finishes the crossing and is out of the water. Once the kinetic egg is at least 6 inches from the bay, no human can touch the device or anything connected to the device until the egg is out of the water. Once the egg has left the bay, you have to show it closely to the camera and then break it into a container to prove it is not fake or boiled, and then like cook with it or something. And we said we would talk about different things you can do with eggs today as well. So what's your favorite thing that I do with eggs?
Cook them. And my favorite thing to do with them is eat them.
So you can devil them, which is hard to do if you've already cracked it and it's raw. So let's talk about what you can do with a cracked raw egg. You can scramble them. You can make them into an omelet. You can make a frittata. If you can extract the yolks carefully and separate them, then you have a world of possibilities, from cakes to soufflés to île flottant. So just, you can go really crazy with it.
There you go.
Because eggs are useful. All right.
I think it's about time for us to get wet,
Jay,
virtually anyway.
You're going to take over the Zoom and
show us our first set of not bay crossing videos.
That's right. Time for the water crossing.
Okay, so welcome to the engineering portion of our Kinetic Sculpture in place for our bay crossing. I'm Sandy, otherwise known as the Red Queen, and we are having so much fun. Let's talk a little bit about our contraption for our egg. So this is our contraption that we will be transporting our little egg in, and there's our little egg. This one has a mask on. And in order to facilitate the egg getting wet, we actually have a hole in the bottom so that when our little egg is in there, he actually hangs off the bottom of the contraption so his little butt gets wet. I'm going to take him out of there so we don't accidentally have a catastrophe with our egg. So the really cool thing about our little contraption here, it is mousetrap powered. We actually made our own little pulleys here out of bobbins and copper and brass. And we made little Whittaker paddle wheels, although we're not going into really deep water. It's the spirit of it all. And then we actually have them pinned inside. I don't know that you can see it, but they're pinned inside to a fixed axle on the inside. So to wind this, we actually roll him backwards. Kind of hard to do with one hand, but so you see though, to wind it, we roll him backwards. For our course, okay, so we didn't have a deep bit of water, but we do have a nice little bay here. And so we have our little ever-present roses, because we love our little off with their heads if the roses aren't red. And our flamingos are hanging out, checking out the action. And so our water is more than a foot across. It is about an inch deep at the deepest point. And you can see the two shorelines there. So that is our course, and we are ready to run.
And launching in 3, 2, 1.
Woohoo!
Do we have a thing to break the egg in?
We will find a thing to break the egg in.
Okay.
And our little egg is wet on the bottom. Want to show you guys? Wet on the bottom because we had a hole in him. And then...
You're out. This is for now.
Hold it. Gotta get in there. And... Woohoo!
Woo!
We have the same machine modified to be the bay water crossing. We still have the energy bar and the paddle wheel governor. This is my trigger, and we have a man-eating clam holding the water crossing. The water crossing gets filled up. Then the egg will travel up and bounce off the clam, go into the chute. The machine will keep running, and as the egg reaches the bottom of the chute, the plug gets pulled, and it goes into the pond.
Here's the egg. Awesome. Okay, now I just pull the governor gently.
You can just pull it. Oh, sorry, intern.
Here's the intern. Going in the basket.
Send him on his journey.
Going in his basket. All right, here we go.
Step back, step back. There you go.
Oh, pull the plug! Pull the plug! It's not pulling the plug! You have to pull the plug, you little thing! Come on, there's a little more weight there!
Oh!
Phew!
Ta-da! All right.
Thanks for watching.
Humboldt Not-the-bay Crossing. This is our machine, A Brush with Death. We're going to use principles of mechanical advantage. We don't want the full force of this lever arm acting on the wheels because they just spin out. That's a bad transfer of energy. So we've lengthened the arm 8 times, and the wheels are 24 times bigger than the axle. We multiply those together, we get a force of 192 times greater than the force on this spring. Meaning it'll travel 192 times farther than the arc of the lever arm. This is our race course. It's 3 feet, pretty impressive. I only have 2. We'll be crossing Humboldt Bay from the Wharfinger building to the Samoa bridges. It's a bad year. Okay, Queen Ramp Mama, are we ready?
Well, this guy needs to get his feet out of the street. There. Now we're ready. Wait, it didn't work.
Yeah. Well, looks like we got a sinker. Somebody call the Coast Guard. Let this be a lesson to all the rule breakers out there. Pilot survived. If I can get him out.
Nice.
Oh my gosh.
That was fun.
What an adorable kinetic family they are.
That was great. Those were all really wonderful.
Fun and entertaining.
Crossings.
So if we could have Sir Queen Robotica perhaps join us again. I wanted to talk for a minute about the museum because we've got this fabulous art auction going on that benefits the museum. And the museum is a place unlike any other in the universe and is special to the kinetic universe, and it needs our support. We got to inflate those pontoons and keep it afloat.
That's right.
Tell us about the museum.
The Kinetic Museum in Eureka is my non-kinetic day job, which is also kinetic. We have events 5 days a year, but I work every weekend, 52 weekends a year, keeping it available to the public. Open every weekend when not in pandemic, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 2:13 to 6:32. We have a full 50-year history from the glorious founders pentacycle all the way up to Chris Gardner's golden flipper.
And we have now Judy, the teddy bear lady's judging jacket and some of her things that she's donated to the museum as well.
Yes. Many LTA jackets. The Golumpke brothers donated theirs. Bob Org, Larry, Ferndale founders.
For people who don't know, LTA, Lifetime Achievement Award winners.
Yes. We have 26 of them. Lifetime Achievement Award winners, that is.
That's right.
Everyone from Rizzoli to Grandpa.
Isn't that amazing?
And for those who are not aware where the Eureka Kinetic Museum is, I believe it's like right across the street from the Eureka Co-op. Is that correct?
It's on A Street between 5th and 6th.
Yes.
In that weird little triangle.
Also a local nonprofit, the Humboldt Animal Rescue Team, and they're great neighbors to have. They don't make a lot of noise, but they provide lots of cuddles.
Oh, kitten bribes.
Of course, with the sheltering in place, I assume the museum is currently closed. Is that correct?
I have not been open for 2 months, and that's the longest I've gone in 4 years without opening the doors.
Wow.
So we need to support the museum so that it'll be there to reopen its doors. And this is why the art auction is going on, although we're happy to take donations as well.
Absolutely.
The art auction, purchasing invisible tickets, purchasing merchandise from the website, all supports the Kinetic Museum and the Kinetic Universe.
And I know that at a certain point, Jay, we're going to have graphics to show of the kinetic merchandise. So just let us know when you've got that ready so we can show the adoring public what they can buy and own. And when you wear your kinetic gear, your glorious gift shop gear, you spread glory wherever you go.
And spreading glory is what we're all about this weekend. That's why we're doing Kinetic in place. We're not spreading any virus. We're just spreading glory.
That's right. We're doing it safely in our homes. And thank you, Kinetic Universe, for working so hard to make sure that we could all have fun this weekend in a way that is safe. Thank you to all the participants and officials. And thank you to Jay, our wizard of media, and Randall. You guys are amazing. And fighting off Rizzuli's minions just makes you that much more above and beyond. Are we ready with the next chunk of water crossing? And then I just want to remind people that when we are done with our water crossing and before we go to Micro-Kinetics, we will be playing some of the set of music from Clean Girl and the Dirty Dishes from the Rutabaga Ball that we did not get to see. So that's an extra treat.
Excellent. All righty. Well, let's...
when you're ready, Jay.
Let's hit that virtual water.
Reed Spacer with the Humboldt Not-the-bay Water Crossing, and for the engineering whatnot. It's been a hot day in Corvallis. I can't remember if I said this right, but I am really peeling today here. It's just been blistering here, but what can I say here? So I've got a lovely saucer. I'm going to dump the water out of it. I just ran my run here. In the winter, this is great for going down a hill. In the snow, we've got about 3 blocks away. There's a lovely little hill for that. But in the summertime, it makes a great little bay crossing for your eggs here. So that sits right there. I've got a nice smooth surface for it to come in and out on. I've got for my egg. Come here, you. I've got a nice little container. You've heard of magnetic lev transportation. Well, this is egnetic lev transportation. I've got 2 rails underneath that it glides on nice and fast, and the egg is in a nice secured compartment here with OSU beaver colors. So I got the black and orange here for keeping him a little bit safe inside of this space, because he does get wet. This thing just snaps right down, click, like that, holds him nice and secure. He has a very fast ride on the on these rails here, and it's just in and out, lickety split. Again, the same pulley system that the others use. With this one has a heavier water bottle, because when you're pulling an egg through water, there's a lot more force. And my first attempt with a small bottle didn't do so well, but the bigger bottle does the trick here. This guy. Anyway, thanks you. I don't know if there's anything else to say here. Again, it's real simple. All stuff found at home here. And thank you for watching. Have a good one. Reed Spacer here with the Humboldt Not-the-bay Water Crossing run video. We're set to go. I got a lovely lake here. Water's about almost 2 inches deep. Here's a foot from the water. Here's my egg in his cage, ready to roll. And here's a foot out of the water. And a shark bite is waiting for him here. Here we go. Ready, set, go. Hey, hey. Come here, egg. Come out of there, you. It's a very stray egg. Sorry, egg. Gotta break you. And there we have another very successful water crossing. I think that's a shark bite, personally. Anyway, thanks for watching.
Howdy, Facebook fans for Team Hoosier Daddy. Welcome to my water entry and crossing challenge. Looks like my waterfall has decided to be a triple. That should still be enough to wet its whistle. Here, I'll move a little more water down to the pump. Get a waterfall going here for it. There we go. Okay, so again, I have the weight of water propelling the system. This slows it down so it doesn't go jetting across. And now, for the water crossing, I think I heard the Brandmeister say we could go. So here we go. They got wet. And we hit the finish line. And for glory, now to prove that this is a viable egg. There you go. See? It's a real egg.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 2020 Kinetic in Place competition. I'm here to show you our water crossing setup. So as you can see, we have a large body of water, easily 10 to 12 feet across. And on the other side, we have the finish line. And of course, we have the judges here watching our every move. Here's my mechanism. This will propel the pilot across to the finish line. Now the thought being, as we skip off the water, we're traveling at a high velocity, we will skip across the water, and at the end of the finish line is the large seat cushion. This is the seat cushion from my machine when I first built it, before I bought the newer slung seats. That is an old seat that I actually got from Dwayne Flatmont's 6-man machine, which I had used for Octomom. So once again, repurposing something that has sat on the shelves for many years. Proud to be able to repurpose it today. So what we'll do here is we've created a release. So as we know, eggs don't have legs. Therefore, they cannot provide their own power, which allows us to use stored energy, this in the form of tension. So what I have here is just a simple gate lock and string so I can stand 6 feet away, at what point this will release, sending the pilot hurling across the water into the soft cushion of the finish line, where he should come gently to rest. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the 2020 Kinetic Sculpture in Place. Here we are at the water crossing, getting ready for Team Funguy. The yoke's on you. Woohoo! Today they'll be crossing the large body of water to the finish line. Just got to stay intact for glory and victory. Oh, here's Team Funguy. Here comes the Funguy. He's got with him Eggsy McCracken, their pilot, coming in, showing him the course. Here he comes. And he's being loaded into the device. Alrighty. The stage is set. The die are about to be cast. All right. In 3, 2, 1, release. Oh, no! Eggsy! It's all right. No need to be alarmed, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure he can be repaired.
Oh, no. Are the judges okay?
Oh, that's the way the eggy cracks.
Boo! Woohoo! Yay!
That was glorious. Oh, my God.
That was the most glorious thing I've ever seen! Poor Eggsy. Funguy, do you have any comments after this glorious disaster?
Well, I'll have to admit, as I grabbed Eggsy to approach the event, I don't know how, I don't know why, but I felt a small drip at my finger. So, and as I could feel, a piece of shell had come loose on the bottom of the egg somehow, and I loaded him up and said, oh, he should be fine. What's one little crack gonna do? So I'm pretty sure the reason that he exploded was because of that pre-crack. Had that not happened, I think this was very survivable. And that's the rest of the story.
Oh,
yeah, I believe that. Do you believe that?
Well, you know, Funguy was my pit crew, and he did take better care of us than he has of Eggsy McCracken.
I only have one thing to say: Funguy!
Oh, you guys, this is just so glorious and good fun.
Oh, and these are great. These are really wonderful.
I mean, Carl, so elaborate. Funguy, I think you just had fun making devices to smash eggs. I love how it crashed right into the judges.
Oh, Amy called it before it happened.
Oh, yeah, no, like, I looked at it.
He's going to hit the judges.
It's going to splat the judges for sure.
Bam! Right on the judges.
But lots of clever ideas and robotica. You know, I'm just happy that I'm not standing in the shadow under the Samoa Bridge in the cold and the wind and telling people to get off the rocks. This is much more comfortable.
Yes. Although we do miss that.
We miss it, and we can't wait to do it again when it's safe to do so. In the meantime, we Kinetic Sculpture in place. Jay, do you happen to have the merchandise graphic for us yet? Not yet. Okay. It's never too late to go and support the Kinetic Museum by going online. And what you do is you go to the Kinetic Universe website, which is kineticgrandchampionship.com. And when you go to Kinetic Sculpture in place, you will see the live stream, the invisible tickets, the merch booth, the art auction, and that is where you can go and support all that is glorious and good and keep the museum afloat, because it is our history, and it is a place where people go for inspiration and ideas and engineering help. And cool. Let's show the merch. Let's show the merch. It's really glorious. And the t-shirts are perfect this year because they say, stay safe, stay home, which I love that sentiment.
I need to get one of those t-shirts.
I think we need to go to the Glorious Gift Shop. We're going to make a couple purchases, and I want a bandana. The bandana with the logo is maybe my favorite piece, but I have to have a t-shirt. So
we have those up, Jay? I don't see them.
They're up right now, but we can't see them.
We can't see them.
So you can see that the t-shirt comes in the ever popular black, the glorious Stay Home green, And all of the money you spend supports the museum and keeps Kinetics going, keeps our history intact, keeps our queen employed.
I particularly like the bandana because it's got the mask on it.
Yeah, the Lush Newton logo is like, when that first came out, it was like, this is so perfect. Yeah. And that bandana is suitable for use as a bandana. You can just tie it around your mouth and keep yourself safe, or you can use it when you're gardening to keep your hair out of your eyes. You can also do one of those no-sew foldy masks, and you can also cut it out and sew it onto a mask, however it works for you.
Or just use it as a flag.
As a flag, always glorious. Mm-hmm. Please buy early, buy often. All the money supports something near and dear to our hearts.
Buy one for every member of your family.
Christmas gifts, Christmas gifts. I mean, when we're all through this horrible pandemic and everybody forgets what it was like, you'll have this glorious souvenir that shows that you were safe and supported Kinetics all at the same time. What could be better than that? Oh, and supported the museum. It's like a triple good thing.
So we've seen some wonderful videos. Jay, do we have some more videos?
Well, I see Queen Lotta Patebuncus has joined us. You have something to add?
Hey, yeah, I just wanted to let people know that the Spectator's Choice voting is still going on. It's on the website as well as on the Kinetic Universe Facebook page. So you can choose your crowd favorite.
Excellent.
Oh, and there will be a Spectator's Favorite Award this year.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
See? A chance for everyone to participate.
Rutabaga Fairy Princess Sparkle Lumina has organized that in her spare time around helping with Micro-Kinetics. So you can go and take part in that poll for that and other.
And if Sparkle Lumina is doing it, it's going to be glorious and glittery.
That's definitely for sure.
I have some of her awards and they're amongst my favorites because they're shiny. All right, ready for, is this the last part of our water crossing? Or Not-the-bay crossing, but stick around because we're going to talk about your extra challenges again. We're going to hear from Clean Girl and the Dirty Dishes, and we're going to have Micro-Kinetics after that.
All that's coming up right now.
Roll 'em, Jay!
Let's see the videos.
All right, this is our water crossing, bay crossing. As you can see, the bay is our canoe. Our canoe has been with us for many years. We used to fit both kids and the dog and both adults in this canoe. Different, not the huge dog, that's true. So Lucy, come show that it's long enough. So here's the egg on its raft waiting to cross. It's got a life jacket bridge. That it is
a little more than a foot away.
A little over a foot from the edge of the water. And then that purple string marks very conveniently how far the crossing is, which is...
It was about 3 feet, I think.
Nearly 3 feet. Yep, just about exactly 3 feet across to the other side. Then the rope goes up through that oarlock, and so it's going to splash into the water in its raft, cross, and then be pulled out of the water, not far, but far enough to be clear, by this bucket, which is going to be filled by the hose. There's the hose. Ben is going to turn on the hose. The hose runs serpentinely. I don't know what the word for that is. Over there, and then behind that azalea bush is the place that you turn it on. Ben's going to turn it on really a slow drip, and then he's going to come join us. And so by the time the water gets out here and goes up to the bucket, it will be he will be well over 6 feet away. And so the bucket will go down, the egg will splash into the water, cross, and be pulled out of the water. Anything we want to add up to that?
No, that's good.
All right, Nikki's down there. Nikki, say hi. And the goats. Lucy really wants you to see the goats. That's one of the goats.
I'd really like to use the goats.
That's the bad goat over there. Yeah, originally we planned to use the goats in one of these, but they were not as cooperative as, well, maybe they're exactly as cooperative as you would imagine, actually.
Dad's inside.
And Dad is inside again. He's had a lot of work the last few days, as it turns out. He consults in between Zoom calls. All right, here we go. Here we go. Take 957. There's Lucy. There's Ben. Gonna pull the hose and then drop it. There's the egg. Go. And the water started. And the egg's moving. Come on, little egg, keep going. And there it goes, and it crossed. And it looks like it survived. Here comes Lucy with her frying pan. Looks totally intact. All right. And it is obviously not cooked or fake or any of the above.
Yeah.
Hey there, I'm Heather, also known as Hater the Violent Fairy, and I am on the Poorly Drawn Bikes team. I took care of the water crossing, and I'd like to tell you a little bit more about my kinetic contraption. So here it is. I'm not very good at the Vanna White thing, I just look creepy. Sorry. But yes, here it is. It's, as you can see, hopefully, it's based off of a rocket, specifically the Saturn V rocket. And the Saturn V rocket was the one used in the Apollo missions, so I thought it would be a nice throwback to that. Unfortunately, if you're familiar with the Saturn V rockets, doesn't totally look like one, but I think I had a pretty clever solution to that problem, and that was to, instead of saying that it's based on the Saturn V rocket, to just start saying that it's inspired by it. So anyway, now that we've established where my inspiration came from, I want to tell you a little bit more about how it works. So if you look closely, the vehicle is built entirely of fuse beads, which I have had for who knows how long, and quarantine seemed like a great opportunity to drag them out. And so that is how I built the body of my contraption. For flotation, I used some quartz and some foam sheets, which you can see here. The perler beads also float on their own, especially because they kind of trap like air bubbles. However, once you add any weight to it, like an egg, it no longer floats. So, had to add a little extra flotation on the bottom. You can see I did also add some wheels. I think these might actually be like the gears for a like spirograph kit, but right now they're wheels. And I attached those using some pins, and there's some perler beads underneath in order to space them out so they can roll very easily. And that was to help the vehicle get in and out of the water, because it does have to be amphibious. You might be wondering where the egg goes. Here's the cockpit. And I did, after the first water test, have to add a seatbelt here. It turns out that seatbelts are very important for launching rockets. And yes, so seatbelt was added, and that worked very well for securing the egg safely. This is a very important mission. Can't have eggs falling out of the rocket. Now as for propulsion, the Saturn V rockets had 3 stages. Since the journey from a pizza tray planet to a splatterguard planet in my bathtub is just a little shorter than a trip to the moon, I only have 2 stages. The first stage was powered by counterweight, and so the front of the rocket was attached to one end of the string, and 2 bags of marbles were attached to the other side. And so when I released it, those marbles fell and were able to drag my rocket into the water and out of the water. But in order to help propel it through the water, I did add a second stage, and that is this propeller right here. And this one is powered by a rubber band. So you just have to fuel the rocket up a little bit for launch. And as soon as it hits the water, it starts propelling the rocket through. So that is how my kinetic contraption worked. It did successfully transport an egg on an interplanetary mission across my bathtub.
All right, we are go for launch. Yes. Okay, just trying to untie a knot with one hand. It's fine. Totally fine. Okay, we're ready. Cross your fingers. Even though you'll be viewing this in the past, but anyway. Oh, it landed! The egg made it to the land! I'm so excited. Alright. The egg has landed. The eggle has landed? It kind of works, you know? I don't know how to crack this with one hand. Good thing there's like a bowl here. Yes, you wind up that way. And I will, hey, Lego. Lego my ego. Oh, hello. Nope. We'll just, drain that out. That'll be fine. Totally cool. Yep. Alright. Sorry, Extronaut. We gotta prove you did this. Nice. Hi, Kinetic Universe. Hello, judges. Hello, queens. Hello, glorious spectators. This is Team Magic Cool Bus here with our Not-the-bay Water Challenge. So we're going to walk you through the technical aspects right now. Try and follow along. It's a little bit complicated. We've got some, pretty scientific terminology. So we'll take it nice and slow. So we're going to start off with our magic cool egg. We're going to put our cool egg inside of this buoyant polymer ovapod. And when it's secured, we're going to transport it to the top of this waterfall over here. At the top of the waterfall, we're going to secure it with a gravitational inhibitor. And when the challenge begins, we will remove that inhibitor. It's going to fall down this waterfall precipice into this ovapod containment unit at the bottom that you see. The containment unit is held in place by these kinetic tensioners down here, and at the point when it reaches the containment unit, the challenge will be over. We'll retrieve our kinetic cool egg, and we'll see if it survived the challenge, and maybe learned something along the way. Can't.
Wow, what a splash! All right, and we're struggling to get out of the water. Oh, we slipped back into the water. And now we're going to get up. Okay, let's go. Try to get up the ramp. More, higher. Oh, we're going, yeah, just, hear the crowd, hear the crowd. Whoa, and she's up, yay!
Oh my gosh, I love them all. This is
those
so
are
much
great.
genius. I love it all.
So much fun.
Yeah.
So much fun.
It's glorious, good fun. And
I mean, if we can't be out there, raising
Together.
a ruckus during this 3-day weekend, this is a good way to do it.
This is the next best thing for sure. And I just want to say to those teams from far, far away, if you want to come to Humboldt for the World Championship when we are able to be out all together, contact us. We will help find places for you guys to camp or stay or whatever, because we want you to be here. It is just, you guys are too much fun.
And I've got to say, I've been seeing videos of people just disregarding shelter in place, and
No, that's not what we're doing this weekend.
and disregarding social distancing, and really putting a lot of people at risk this weekend all over the country. And I'm very proud of the kinetic community in Humboldt County in general,
And Kinetic Universe.
and Kinetic Universe for really taking all this seriously. We're having a lot of fun this Memorial Day weekend, and we're all staying safe. And I think
Staying safe is the only way we can have fun again next time.
and we're a good example of you can have fun on Memorial Day weekend and stay safe at the same time. So
That's right. Kinetic Sculpture in place. It's the
I am
most
proud
fun
to be part
have.
of that.
Absolutely. We have our extra challenges du jour. First of all, let's plug the merch again. Jay,
Oh, yeah.
show the graphic, please. Go
Yes.
to kineticgrandchampionship.com, visit the Glorious Gift Store, or buy an invisible ticket.
There's 2 wonderful T-shirts to choose from.
The black or the green, or get both if you can't decide.
That's right.
I mean, you can buy 7, have one for every day of the week.
Now, I personally want the black one
And I'll take the green one.
because you know how I roll.
Yeah, you like a black t-shirt, even though you're wearing blue today.
That's right.
And then there is the fabulous bandana that has the Kinetic Sculpture in place logo on it, which is
Also
really the
black.
only place you can find that logo. Thank you, Lush
Mhm.
Newton, for the fabulous design.
Mm-hmm.
And you can do your Christmas shopping early and support the museum and support our history being maintained in a way that we can all access it again once it's able to open its
And
doors
of course,
safely.
we all encourage people to buy an invisible ticket for this wonderful event.
Gives you the right to extra glory, and any amount is going to help tremendously. So thank you very much for that. We have extra challenges each and every day. We have the Read for Speed Glory Road, and
Princess Tootsie Rolls came up with a great poem.
it's the princess poem, and the idea is to read it as fast as you can on video. Then you post it on Facebook within an hour after the broadcast or after the live stream today, and everybody can participate, but only registered teams will be judged. And you include the hashtags, hashtag Kinetic, your team name, hashtag Kinetic in place, hashtag KSIP Read for Speed, hashtag Princess Poem, and that way you can be judged, and you want to make it in a publicly viewable post so that you can get as many likes as possible.
Of course.
The second challenge today is the pun challenge. The wordplay and idioms and puns. Oh my, actually 3.
Mhm.
Pilots having pun, so children desire to be full grown. Use items from your shelter in place to illustrate a pun, idiom, or play on words. The more kinetic, the better. Think chickens. Think glory. Think Hobart. You post a photo or video on Facebook by an hour after the Kinetic Sculpture in place live stream has ended for the day. Include the hashtags, hashtag Kinetic, your team name, hashtag Kinetic in place, hashtag KSIP wordplay, and hashtag full grown pilots to be considered for judging. And then the third unofficial challenge of the day is the hashtag crab park at home. If you are camping tonight at home, we want to see pictures. Do like Funguy do. So Thank you for joining us. The water crossing was glorious indeed. Tomorrow is not, we are not done yet. No, we have the OVO Madness Mud Run tomorrow.
That's going to be a lot of fun.
We will then be running the pageantry, and we will have our awards ceremony, because there's nothing like a great party.
What time is the award ceremony?
After. We start at 11:37. Be prepared for the noon siren. Again, it is a crowd participation activity. And what we're going to end with today is Micro-Kinetics, which is a genius idea from the Kinetic Paranormal Society. Thank you, Isaac and Bartleby, for doing that. That's a labor of love and creativity that you do not want to miss. But before that, we get to hear Clean Girl and the Dirty Dishes.
Woohoo!
Oh, we have first Princess Tootsie Rolls reading her poem, our good friend Wendy White. So let's hear from Wendy first.
Okay. So Jay is getting that video ready. He just got the link to that.
And the Goddess Jeno says 2-ish for awards, just so you know.
2-ish.
2-ish. That's very kinetic time.
So are we going to have actual physical awards to show?
There might be. I know there's some pictures. Queen, lot of paint buckets.
Oh, I was going to answer the question, are there awards? Yes, of course there are awards.
There are.
Well, there are
I don't
awards.
know about to show, though. Some of the artists and artist judges that have been creating those awards have been putting them on Facebook. We can definitely share those around on the Kinetic Universe Facebook page and possibly get some graphics here up on the stream. But
I have the teddy bear award. If you can see if I can get the angle right on my phone. It's not going to work, but there are people who've been busily creating awards, which is exciting.
So we should probably send those off to Jay so you can share them.
Okay, let's hear Princess Tootsie Rolls and the princess poem, please. Professor.
The Princess Poem by Princess Tootsie Rolls. That's me. The night was right for having a ball, so the people were called, come one, come all. And while it was truly a glorious sight, with mystical bands and rainbows of light, I'll try to tell you what I heard and saw. Forgive me if I don't tell it all. The news was declared, it was heard far and wide, that citizens of Humboldt should learn how to ride. So they gathered spare tires, hammers, and glue, and they set up a lab to decide what to do. They built bikes too big, and they built bikes too small. They built spinning bikes that didn't go anywhere at all. They built a huge bike. It had lots of tires, and headlights, and taillights, and exploding fires. And they said if things work just as they oughta, we'll even be able to float on the water. They built bikes like crazy. They worked by light and night. These people weren't lazy. It was an amazing sight. And when all of the children cried out for a ride, they added seats in front and some on the side. They built bikes to go uphill with a zillion gears and wires, and bikes to go downhill with really sturdy tires, and bikes built by queens for riding up streams, and bikes built by dudes with artistic attitudes. There was a guy whose brakes never did work, and everyone got upset when someone called him a jerk, 'cause he got the crowd wet in a terrible crash, though the fans were pleased with the biggest splash. There were teams who couldn't win, and teams who couldn't lose, and teams who raced like they were on a booze cruise. There were teams who knew it was all for the glory, and teams who told a different racing story. And before the race was finished, when they reached Ferndale town, they all put on their top hats and remembered Hobart Brown.
That was glorious.
That was great.
Well done, Wendy.
Now, of course, if you're going to do this challenge, you've got to read it much faster than that.
The fastest you possibly can.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this has been a glorious water crossing. It often ends early, and all the teams that were supposed to go into the water have gone into the water. Is that correct? Nobody, and I know some of them were water testing, Funguy. But I think he just makes the machine so he can smash eggs in the most creative way possible. I don't know.
Could be.
either way, he's having a glorious good time.
And so are we watching it. It's really a lot
So we're
of
going to
fun.
hear from Clean Girl and the Dirty Dishes, and then the live stream will pause momentarily while Kinetic Paranormal Society takes over, and we get to enjoy Micro Kinetics. I think it's hosted by my friend Bartleby.
Mhm.
You know, he's a cute little sock guy. So thank you so much. We will return to the live stream tomorrow morning at 11:31 for the final glorious day of Kinetic Sculpture in place. Thank you, Kinetic Universe. Go to kineticgrandchampionship.com and buy merch and buy invisible tickets to support the museum.
That's right.
Thank you, Jay and Randall, for being our wizards of technology. And thank you for watching. And now here is Clean Girl and the Dirty Dishes.
All that sparkles, all that glitters, glitterina of the sea, hypnotizing, mesmerizing, glitterina so shiny. When the man-eating clams are on the attack, she'll lure them away, oh how her sparkles distract. She'll bake you a cake, and she'll make your toothache, glitterina be our queen. All that shimmers, all that glimmers, glitterina of the sea, mesmerizing, hypnotizing, glitterina so shiny. All the sculptures are safe at the end of the race, 'cause glitterina keeps the man-eating clams in their place. She shines like a star for the glory you are, glitterina be our queen. Glitterina be our queen. Glitterina, you're our queen.
Well, the missions were so nominal that you almost couldn't believe that it was happening. We had been simulating these things for so long, and everything goes wrong in the simulations. You have devious little men that plan simulations. They plan to do everything wrong so that they can mess everybody up. So when we got to the real mission, it seemed like a piece of cake, really.
All right, go guys.
where gyroscopes and reference equipment will fail. You'll lose communication. They'll underburn, they'll overburn, they'll have abort situations come up. I think you always remember that there are men on board. And even during simulations, it's not just an exercise. The simulations seem as real as the mission. We have men in simulations. They're in the simulator. They're not flying up to the moon. But we feel like they're real. Atmosphere you work in is a little bit unreal as far as the actual facilities are concerned. You're totally isolated. You're surrounded by machines. There are no windows in the buildings where you work. The lighting is always the same. You lose all track of time. You think in terms of ground elapsed time, and that becomes the only reality.
Wasn't that an entertaining rotating logo you're watching there? Thanks to the Kinetic Paranormal Society for our spooky logos. If you are watching this live stream, you should know that we're going to switch over to the Micro Kinetics live stream. So yes, if you are in a watch party on Facebook or watching us on YouTube, you're going to have to reload that page, go back to where you found the live stream in the first place. On kineticgrandchampionship.com, it should reload for you. And we're going to do that right now. Enjoy.